Think you can name these legends of chaos, cruelty, and cinematic evil? You'll get a quick look at them today in just 5 seconds to guess who it is. Then we'll flash back to the iconic role that made them unforgettable. Keep track of your score and let us know how many villains you nailed in the comments. Let's dive into the darkness. 1. Peter Stormare. Cold, silent, and brutal, his villain roles always had a chilling edge. Known for Fargo, Geyer Grimsrud, Constantine, Satan. His appearance has evolved into a silver-haired mystical persona. In 2025, he still acts and embraces his eccentric side, lives in LA, and does voice work in indie films. 2. Brian Thompson. His angular face made him a perfect Hollywood henchman. From hard muscle to aged warrior, his transformation is impressive. In 2025, he trains young actors and appears at fan expos, still rocking the intimidating look, now with gray tones. 3. Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa. His deadly look and quiet voice made him memorable. Recognized for Mortal Kombat Shang Tsung and The Man in the High Castle. Living modestly, he practices martial arts and philosophy in 2025. Converting to Russian Orthodoxy, he received Russian citizenship. He still rules the room. 4. Lance Henriksen. Though often playing morally gray characters, he struck the villainous attitude perfectly. Noted for Aliens, Bishop, Pumpkinhead, Millennium. His rough looks at age 85 make him fit for elder mentor jobs. Still does occasional acts, primarily in sculpture and art. His rich voice is still legendary in 2025. 5. Glenn Close. Played villains with elegance and psychological depth. Known for Fatal Attraction, Alex Forrest, 101 Dalmatians, Cruella de Vil. She is still engaged in Broadway and cinema in 2025. With a dignified gray appearance and great energy, Sheno uses her platform to promote mental health awareness. 6. Oldman Gary. Known for The Fifth Element, Leon, the Professional, and Dracula, the Transformation and Intensity King. In 2025, he balances villain and hero roles. Seen recently in Apple TV's Slow Horses, his face has aged, but that fire is still there. 7. Hopkins Anthony. Hopkins redefined evil. He was calm, composed, and terrible. He was famous for The Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Lecter. He still has a keen mind and is creative at 87 in 2025. Performances of post-poem and piano on Instagram. Still legendary both on-screen and offline. 8. Gary Busey. Every part was unpredictable thanks to his tremendous energy. Famous movies, Lethal Weapon, Under Siege, Point Break. He's erratic as always in 2025, as seen on reality TV. Notwithstanding health problems, he remains visible in the public eye, yet untamed, still certainly Busey. 9. Robert Patrick. Cold, emotionless, and terrifying. He was the machine. Known for Terminator 2, T-1000. In 2025, he sports a white beard and more warmth. He continues acting in crime shows and sci-fi series. Still intimidating, but now more human than ever. 10. Hugo Weaving. Intellectual villainy with sharp delivery. Known for The Matrix, Agent Smith, V for Vendetta, and The Lord of the Rings. In 2025, he's embraced theater and indie films in Australia. Keeps a low profile but still delivers powerhouse performances. The voice is timeless, just like the roles he played. 11. Danny Trejo. With a face carved by real life, Trejo brought raw danger to every role. Known for Machete, Desperado, Con Air. In 2025, he's still acting, running restaurants, and advocating for at-risk youth. Now 81, he's tougher than ever, but all heart behind the scenes. He turned his villain image into one of resilience and redemption. 12. Jack Nicholson. He made madness iconic, those eyebrows, that grin. Now 88, Jack lives quietly in LA, rarely seen in public. Known for The Shining, Jack Torrance, Batman, the Joker. He retired from acting years ago, but his villains still dominate movie history. Whether axing doors or laughing maniacally, Nicholson's performances remain untouchable. 13. Tim Curry, the original Pennywise, part terrifying, part theatrical. Curry suffered a stroke in 2012 but continues voice acting. In 2025, he still appears at fan events with his signature charm. Known for It, Pennywise, Legend, Clue. Now 79, he's a living legend whose legacy spans horror, comedy, and musicals. Evil never sounded so elegant. 14. Michael Madsen. The guy who danced while cutting off ears. Madsen defined cool menace. Now 67, he still appears in gritty indie films and cult projects. Known for Reservoir Dogs, Kill Bill, his gravelly voice and brooding stare haven't gone anywhere. He's aged into the kind of villain who's been through it all and survived. 15. Rutger Hauer. Hauer passed away in 2019, but his impact endures. His Tears in Rain monologue remains one of cinema's most haunting moments. Known for Blade Runner, The Hitcher. In 2025, fans will still revisit his roles for their depth and melancholy. He wasn't just a villain, he was poetry in motion, wrapped in danger. 16. Billy Drago. Drago's gaunt face and chilling eyes made him a perfect on-screen psychopath. He passed in 2019, but horror fans still celebrate his work. Known for The Untouchables, The Hills Have Eyes. From mafia enforcer to mutant sadist, his villains were always disturbing. Even now, his presence in cult classics remains chillingly unforgettable. 17. Tommy Lee Jones. He brought lawman grit, even to villainy. Now 78, Jones keeps a low profile on his Texas ranch. Known for Batman Forever, Two-Face, Under Siege. In 2025, he occasionally returns for serious dramatic roles. Whether he's hunting fugitives or flipping a coin as Two-Face, he's always compelling. Few actors mix menace and intellect so naturally. 18. Tom Noonan. Noonan's height and hollow voice made him unsettling, perfect for cerebral killers. Now 73, he mostly writes and performs in theater and indie films. Known for Manhunter, Last Action Hero. In 2025, he's embraced the role of elder statesman in dark cinema. He's still scary, but these days, he's the quiet kind that gets under your skin. 19. Malcolm McDowell. His eyes burned with rebellion. He made evil feel hypnotic. Known for A Clockwork Orange, Halloween, 2007. Now 82, McDowell still acts in horror and thriller projects. In 2025, he's a genre icon, still sharp and unsettling on screen. From Alex DeLarge to Dr. Loomis, he's never lost that devilish charm. 20. Robert Englund. Englund is horror royalty behind the glove and the one-liners. Now 78, he engages in vocal work as well as conferences. Famous for A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger. Freddy still resides in reboots, merchandise, and nightmares in 2025. Englund honors the legacy, and fans continue to love every scary cackle. 21st, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's Joker grew to be well-known, even if the world knew him as Luke Skywalker. For years, his distorted, dramatic voice shaped cartoon villains. He is still lending character voices and going to big comic book events in 2025. He has welcomed fan love at 73 and still provides Joker's voice in animated programs and video games. Hamill shows how, occasionally, the most memorable bad guys are those you just hear. 22nd, Alan Rickman. With a velvet voice and an intimidating presence, Alan Rickman commanded attention. He made Hans Gruber among the movie's savviest, coolest bad guys. Though he died in 2016, his legacy is greater than ever in 2025. Fans still honor his roles, most notably in Harry Potter. Rickman was a lesson in exquisite evil, not only a bad guy. 23rd, Hardy, Tom. Tom Hardy added violence and muscle to every bad character he portrayed. Even behind a mask, he was fierce, cunning, and scary. Even as Bane, Hardy keeps portraying complex, nuanced characters in 2025. He balances blockbusters and hard indie flicks at 47. He is a person who comes across as real, unfiltered, and grounded. Hardy has charm and possesses the darkness, whether he is a violent criminal or a philosophical brute. 24. Javier Bardem. Calm, calculated, and relentless, Bardem's performance of Anton Chigurh was chilling. Following that, Silva in Skyfall, a villain overflowing with charm and craziness, started to rise, and Bardem continues to add depth and unpredictability to his roles in 2025. He is still much sought after at 56 and gives every performance emotional complexity. He humanizes villains rather than just plays them, which makes them even scarier. 25th, Christoph Waltz. Smiling, courteous, and merciless, Waltz's Hans Landa is among the most terrifying baddies of the 21st century. Spectre showed him bringing that same unsettling attractiveness to Blofeld. Waltz still works in international films and TV shows in 2025. At 68, his ability to combine sophistication with dark overtones is still unmatched. Every phrase he delivers still exudes sophistication and anxiety. 26. Benicio del Toro. Benicio del Toro's villains aren't loud. They're quiet, methodical, and intense. Whether it's the mysterious Fenster or the vengeful Alejandro, his performances feel dangerously unpredictable. In 2025, at 58, he's still a dominant force in crime thrillers and psychological dramas. His eyes do half the acting, and when he speaks, it's with quiet menace. Del Toro doesn't just play bad guys, he makes them unforgettable. 27. Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's face is expressive enough to be terrifying without a word. And what about that cackle as Green Goblin? Iconic. In 2025, Dafoe remains one of the busiest actors in Hollywood, still alternating between indie darlings and superhero franchises. At 70, he brings a manic intensity to every role. Whether villain or anti-hero, Dafoe's energy is still unmatched. 28. Ralph Fiennes. Fiennes turned Voldemort into the face of evil for an entire generation. His performance was both eerie and regal. In 2025, he's still acting in historical dramas, stage productions, and big films. At 62, his delivery remains sharp and authoritative. Whether in wizard robes or Nazi uniforms, Fiennes brings a chilling weight to every role he touches. 29th, Cillian Murphy. Murphy thrives in quiet, cerebral villainy. As Scarecrow and the unnerving terrorist in Red Eye, he was calm, intelligent, and frightening. In 2025, he's at the top of his game, with Oppenheimer winning global praise. At 49, Murphy's haunting eyes and cool demeanor continue to make him a top-tier psychological villain. 30. Mads Mikkelsen. With his icy gaze and smooth delivery, Mikkelsen made evil seductive. As Le Chiffre and Hannibal Lecter, he redefined sinister with elegance. Known for Casino Royale, Hannibal, Doctor Strange. In 2025, at 59, he's still starring in high-profile roles across Europe and Hollywood. He can switch from charming to chilling in a heartbeat. Mikkelsen is the kind of villain who never breaks a sweat, just your mind. So, how many iconic villains did you recognize? Drop your score in the comments and tell us which transformation shocked you the most. If you enjoyed the trip down movie memory lane, hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with your fellow film junkies. Thanks for watching, and remember, legends may age, but evil never retires.